I know. Oh yeah.
I know this one. It's just a wedding podcast.
This episode is brought to you by Sound Precision Entertainment and Cufflink Media, Cleveland's best DJ, photo, and video team. When it comes to your big day, why juggle multiple vendors when you can have one amazing team? We're going to save you time, money, and stress because we're better together. From packed dance floors to photos and cinematic video, we've got you covered from I Do to The Last Dance. Book your wedding dream team today at spedj.com and cufflinkmedia.com. Find the links in the description below.
What is going on, guys? We are back with another episode of the It's Just a Wedding podcast. How you guys doing? How you feeling?
Say it, Julia.
Say what?
Say it.
Say it. Say what?
It's just a wedding.
I'm not there yet.
I'm gonna hire a vocalist to just make us a little thing.
Did you
The
just hear?
cough
I
is
just
still
let out a
slightly
like
Perfect.
Little
So-
Mermaid
Yeah.
style.
We're gonna have to record something with her while she's
Little
here.
Mermaid got the hair for a little. Ariel. I'm gonna call you Ariel.
Look at this stuff, isn't it neat?
Oh yeah. If you're dressing up for Halloween, definitely dress up as her.
But you want to know what? If I had to go another Disney route, I would go Jessica Rabbit.
Oh
there you go.
yeah.
No
You
clue who that
know,
is.
like
You could also do oh shoot.
Meg.
Poison Ivy.
Poison Ivy would be good too.
Mm-hmm.
Like, okay, we can go down this rabbit hole another time.
I was gonna
'cause I think
say
that's gonna
this is
be
not a
another fun-
Disney podcast, but
Poison
ladies.
Ivy's not Disney. That's DC.
You want to? We're talking themed weddings here.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
There is a
Gotcha.
Halloween wedding that we have that's costume.
We do have one coming up pretty
They're
soon.
doing a like costume theme, and people can show up
Really?
in like Halloween costumes.
What are you
Yeah.
showing up in?
I'm not working that one. I'm doing another wedding on
Brutal.
Halloween.
Well, let me introduce our guest to the people because she's sitting
Please.
here. So, ladies and gentlemen, this episode of the It's Just a Wedding podcast is brought to you by our friends at Rain Wedding Planning and Event Management. If you're looking for someone who can take your vision and turn it into the wedding of your dreams, look no further than Meredith Masaveg, owner of Rain. Meredith started Rain back in 2007 following her lifelong passion for planning events, and she's been making magic happen for couples ever since. Rain specializes in wedding planning, coordination, and full event management, handling all the little details so you can actually be present and enjoy your big day. Meredith is known for her professionalism, reliability, and her incredible attention to detail, the things that truly make your celebration seamless and stress-free. So if you're a couple who wants to sit back, soak in every moment, and know that everything is handled by the best, Meredith Rain Weddings and Event Planner is here for you. With Rain Wedding Planning and Event Management, you don't just get a wedding planner, you get peace of mind.
Oh my gosh, thank you.
You are welcome.
Can you just follow me around and be my hype man?
I
Because
can.
like that was so smooth and like your voice is velvet and
listen, I have been told that I have the voice of angels. Yeah.
I popped a little stiffy just listening to that.
I am here for all of it. I mean, I'm sitting here and I like
There
look
you
at
go.
this. I got goosebumps. Like,
Ladies,
thank
that's
you.
what I do for you with this voice.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
Jill's got herself a hell of a
My
man
wife
there.
is she will disagree with all of that. So listen,
Hold on. Before
want
we get started, we need to mention to everybody at home that all of these future episodes from here on out will be live streamed on TikTok. So if you're watching at home and you don't follow us on TikTok, you need to do so because you will be able to see the behind the scenes that are only exclusive to our TikTok lives. So make sure you guys follow us on TikTok. Every Thursday is when we record. You can watch it live behind the scenes and you can see all the juicy content.
How about that?
Boom.
We're going to be going live. So that being said, number one, I want to thank you for being here. So we actually we've known each other now for 13, 14, 15 years. And
Wow.
we actually have most recently on this past Saturday have done a wedding together.
Yep.
So we are basically only have been interested in having people on that we know that are true wedding professionals in the industry. And I have to say that obviously you fit all of those criteria and beyond for us. So
Thank you.
you're welcome. Well, listen, so one of the things that we like to do every podcast is we want to start each episode with what we call a wedding horror story. And the reason being is for so many brides, they're so worried, they're nervous, and honestly, it's a big day, it's a lot of money, and we know that's, there's some warrant to that. However, the reason for the name is we do tell people it's a big day, it's important, it's expensive, but it really is just a wedding. So one of the things that we like to do is try to give them a horror story from our, in this case, 4 decades of experience at this table to be like, hey, listen, things could go wrong, but they likely won't go this wrong. So that being said, do you have a wedding horror story that you might want to share with the viewers?
Oh my gosh, I've got a lot of wedding horror stories, but I don't like to call them horror stories. I like to call them memory makers, because it's, as long as the two people that are coming to get married, if they both say I do, what they wanted to achieve that day is a total success. The rest is just stories that you get to tell at holiday parties and when you're with your friends and be like, can you believe this happened? Sorry. But no, my horror story really comes from guest etiquette. I was doing a wedding, and it's a venue that can host multiple events. So there was 2 weddings going on at the time. I was the day of coordinator. An old man and a probably about 3-year-old walks into the room, and they're walking around just looking at everything. I think that they're from my wedding, because as a wedding coordinator and vendor, we usually work with the clients, but we don't know the family. Like, they're just, it's a name on a paper for us.
Yeah, it makes sense.
This old guy's walking around with the kid. They go up to the cake, and this kid just, and puts his hand in the cake, and I'm rushing over, and he's like, oh, I'm sorry about that. We're from the wedding upstairs. This wasn't even like somebody that
wasn't
was
even
at
his
this
wedding.
No, he was just a guest walking around. Luckily, we were able to fix it. The bride never knew.
That guy's a goof.
Yeah. I agree with you. But it's just like, if you're going to be a guest somewhere, stay in your zone.
Stay in your lane.
He knew he wasn't part of that wedding. He was already at a wedding. He was taking the kid out because it was acting up.
Wow.
So just stay in your lane.
So
you know?
we, on a previous episode, I caught some heat because, now, to be clear, I have 2 children whom I love very much, and I like kids. However, I have gone on the record as staunchly saying that I really, for the most part, don't believe that weddings are a place for children. And if there is a time for children, if it's very close family and friends, it should be for a truncated portion of the reception, and then maybe by, early evening after dinner, they should be on their way out of the room. And I caught some heat for saying that, but brides and grooms, it's because of stuff like this. Like, you spend months, if not years, planning a wedding. You spend hundreds, if not thousands of dollars on a cake. Just to have a little 3-year-old who doesn't know any better, but just come up and just put their entire hand in the backside of your cake.
Yeah, and I agree wholeheartedly. I'm a mother myself too. Wow. I think kids, they should be part of a wedding. They're supposed, we want them there. They can be there, but like you said, I do feel that after a certain point that there should be a designated sitter for children at weddings, or somebody that comes and they take the child away, because under a certain age, kids get tired, they get cranky. I cannot tell you how many weddings I have done where the day of coordinator has become the designated babysitter.
You said kids. Nick's 26. He gets hungry and cranky all the time. So.
I do.
He does. At least he can admit, and when alcohol is involved, like, it's, people let their guards down. They're not watching, and it's, I've just seen a lot of things go wrong with little kids at a wedding, and where I'm not saying they shouldn't be there, but make concessions for them. Hire a sitter that can come and just entertain them. If you want to be able to have a child-free night because you're a parent, have somebody come and pick up the child, take it away, get a night out. Like, you're allowed to. It's okay. That being said, I do understand sometimes, like, if it's a newborn situation and mothers are breastfeeding and stuff, that's not always something that's feasible. So people have to do what works in their best interest. But really, if there's going to be kids at a wedding, I really think we need to think about their wants and needs and how we tackle that, because when your wedding professionals have to step away from their duties and become babysitters, something's going to give.
Yeah,
well, I give you props for icing the cake, essentially, and fixing the cake.
Yeah.
And I think that embodies what this podcast is about in its nutshell. Something as tragic as your cake can get destroyed, but we can fix it, and it's not the end of the world. You just got to push on and move. Because I very famously knocked over an entire cake, and there was no saving that
I've heard the
cake.
stories.
And
you're famous.
It was infamously knocked over.
No, it was
cake.
put into a group chat with like 60,000 Cleveland photographers, I heard.
Yeah, and they were like, "This guy's a buffoon," and
We saved the day. I replaced it with a Giant Eagle cake.
yeah, we saved the day. We did get a sheet cake from Giant Eagle.
But isn't that what we do as
got a 4 to
professionals?
5-star review. So
we save the day. We pivot and turn constantly because things are going to go wrong.
Exactly.
It's
Yeah.
okay.
and
If
it's
they're-
just a
true.
wedding.
It is just a wedding.
Boom.
And just a professional will know how to handle those problems and not make it your problem on the day of the wedding.
Damn.
There you go.
She's good.
Spitting facts, folks.
She's good.
So let's get into the topic of the day. Now, Meredith, we're super excited because you are technically, I guess you're the second planner we've had on, but you are the first local planner. We had a young lady by the name of Cassie Horrell from Pittsburgh come in, who was a TikTok superstar. So we love Cassie.
That
but
was a phenomenal podcast that if anybody hasn't watched that, they really need to go back and watch that episode because
agree.
epic.
I love Cassie. She gave us all kinds of love, and people followed us and liked our
We should
stuff.
get her
and
out to the Pittsburgh DJ conference.
we got to talk to Cassie about
Yeah.
that.
We
Yeah,
need to
so
get her
can we
there.
give Cassie some love for the moment? 1, 2, 3. Hi, Cassie.
Thanks,
love
Cassie,
you.
we love you.
Shout out, Cassie. We love you.
All right.
We
So
love
that
you.
being said, Cassie, we'll catch you up on the flipper. But today I want to talk about something that is of the utmost importance, specifically local here. So the top 10 mistakes new planners make coming into the wedding industry. Now, what's tough about this entire industry is you've got people like yourself who have done this for, I think it's 14 or 15 years professionally. And then you literally have planners who are like, I started a company in March. And it's like, of what year? They're like, 2025. And there's nothing wrong with that. At one point, my company was only 5 or 6 months old, and same as yours.
Yeah.
But there is some decorum, there's some knowledge, there's some things that you probably should know, when you're coming into the industry. So the first thing I want you to elaborate on a little bit is talk to me about the underestimating the time commitment, because people I don't think understand quite how big of a commitment planning weddings can be.
Oh, absolutely. So I first want to start off, what I specialize in is day of coordination. In a nutshell, what day of coordination is that you, the couple, make all of your vendor arrangements. So you're booking your DJ, you're booking your videographer, you're booking your photographer, you're booking the caterer, you're booking it all. But I step in and I manage the vendor team that you built. I also, if you have, need a suggestion on something, hey, do you know a makeup artist? Do you know somebody who does strolling cannolis? You betcha I do. Like, I'm your girl. I can give you those references that you need. But I really am here to manage your wedding day, so you get to be just a guest at your own event that you are spending a lot of money at. The biggest thing that I see is brides and grooms that will plan their own wedding. They had fun planning their own wedding, and they're like, you know what? I think I can do this. I'm going to be a wedding planner. And the biggest thing that I could say, there is a difference between a wedding planner and a day of coordinator. Day of coordinators, as I just mentioned, you are managing their days. Planners, you are vetting vendors for your clients. They're coming to you, and the first conversation you should be having with your clients is, we're going to face the elephant in the room. Let's talk about your budget. And when people say, I don't have a budget, I say,
Bullshit.
yes, you do. I call out their bullshit, and I'm like, awesome. I'm like, we are going to plan a $100,000 wedding, and real quick, you're going to learn that they do have a budget. So I try
That's a good way to do
bring
it.
them in, and I'm like, okay, so this is what we're going to do. We're going to have 2 numbers that we're going to work with. We're going to have the it would be nice number and the we can't go over number. And I'm
Okay.
like, your I can't go over is if you go beyond spending this point, some other aspect of your life is not getting paid, whether it's your mortgage, whether it's your car payment, whether it's your child support, your food, something's not getting paid because you have just maxed out your credit cards and you have nowhere else to go. The other amount, like the it would be nice, is where would you like to see your wedding at? And in that middle zone is usually where you're going to land is what your actual day of cost for your wedding is going to be. And it gives you wiggle room. So when you're talking to vendors and inquiring about pricing, you can say, okay, I have this much to spend. And say, Scott comes in and, you know, somebody says, I can spend $2,500 on this service. And Scott's like, great, this is where our pricing starts for $2,500. This is what's available, but for $28,000, this is what's available for you. And the client gets to choose, ooh, do I want that extra? Do I have some wiggle room within my budget? And they usually 90% of the time can find that they can get everything they want for their wedding by setting an honest budget for themselves.
Makes sense.
So
That's really smart.
So we kind of got off topic here, but for people that are coming in that just, I planned my own wedding, now I'm going to be a wedding planner, I made a Facebook page, I have a TikTok, I have an Instagram, hire me. I'm going to charge $600. And they have no experience. I don't think new planners coming into this industry, and brides, grooms, if you're thinking about jumping into it, understand for a day of coordination, I put in 40 hours,
As you should.
worth of work. Now that time is spread out from when I first start talking to the client till the day of their wedding. And a lot of times I'm communicating with them after the fact because they have questions that come up after weddings. That's the dark side of this industry that nobody wants to talk about, is that after the day is over, there's still questions and we can still provide answers. So you have to, if you're going to come into this industry, be realistic with what you're going to charge. If you are charging $600 and you're putting in 40 hours worth of work, newsflash, you can make that working at a gas station.
Wow.
That's true.
Well, listen, we're dropping truth bombs, and I'm digging it because it needs to be said. Somebody has to be the one to say it. And, you know, something that I can tell you from our perspective, so we're on the side of the DJ, the photo, and the video. One of the complaints that we have with some planners, not all, but a lot of times, you know, you mentioned, I made a note here, is you said that you are the person being hired to basically come in and work with all of the vendors on their wedding day. And I think that you do a fantastic job of that, but there is a difference between working with, in collaboration, or just coming in and thinking that in some way, shape, or form, because you're the planner that got paid $600, you somehow, you know, have control over, you know, all of these vendors who have their own contracts with the bride, who are getting in many cases paid, in our case, tens of thousands of dollars more than a $600 day of coordinator. And so can you kind of explain a little bit about like how you go about working with professional vendors and what it means to be a collaborator and just be in charge of, but at the same time, let people, you know, do what they're paid to do and be a professional?
I am so glad that you asked this question. Long story short, day of coordinators, stay in your lane.
Love it.
Like, stay in your lane. If you do not provide a DJ service, a photography service, bakery, catering, or whatever, talk to your vendors beforehand, see what their wants and needs are, because you are not that professional. Do not tell another professional how to do their job or how they're going to run their timelines and how they're going to manage their day.
I can't
On
say
the
that any
day
better.
of a wedding, we need to work together as a team. So for me, I really rely on my DJs to be my voice, because there's this thing called being the voice of God. It's when you're the person on the microphone. And I rely on my DJs to be my voice of God, to let the guests know of direction. I also rely on my DJs that if I need to buy a vendor or my couple's time, that they can show the guests shiny things by playing music, keeping them engaged, while I may need to find time somewhere because maybe sunset photos are running late. Maybe the caterer, we're getting ready for a plated salad service, and one of the servers, they drop a whole tray of salads. Well, now they have to go make those salads. There is a human side to this industry that we need to be like mindful of, and you have to work as a team to give our clients, and that's the thing, it's not your client, it's our client. Like, work with your vendors, don't work against your vendors.
Facts.
Wow. Let's say that one more time for the people in the back. Work with your vendors and not against your vendors.
Talking to you, TikTok.
That you probably can't say that any better than that. I mean,
No,
that's fantastic.
You've said it perfectly, because there's been so many wedding
But you want to know
planners.
what? That's what 14 years experience. Because 14 years ago, I would have thought that it's my job as the planner. I got to run around. I got to boss everybody around when I didn't know shit about shit.
Yeah, because there's
Like-
been so many times where I've met
Don't
with
do that.
clients and like we created an itinerary for like the photography and videography and things that would work because I know how long like a couple shoot would take or last. And then I've had like wedding planners come in and they changed the whole schedule and I'm like, wait a minute, that's not gonna work. That's not
Right.
And something that I'm going to start off by asking Julia, but then obviously we're going to kick it your way, Meredith. So one of the things that I think goes into another one of these 10 mistakes. So I want to talk about like failing to set boundaries, okay? And so in our company, Julia, after we would sell it, Julia would handle all of the follow-up meetings, engagement sessions, itinerary stuff on the photo video side. Then we have John Toth, who does the same for our DJ clients. And we talk about like what does it mean to be available and present to our clients, and then what does it mean to not set boundaries? Like, and what I've told my staff is we're not going to respond to text messages at 10 o'clock at night on a Saturday, and we are not going to answer phone calls at 5:45 a.m. And that doesn't mean that we don't care. It just means that we've got honestly more than your typical company as far as like hours of operation, and we just want to make sure that people understand what that looks like. So Julia, why don't you talk a little bit about like your experience? I know that you get calls and texts at all hours of the day, and then I would love to know like your opinion, how that relates to, because I feel like the planner, it would be like times a million because like you're their go-to person. So like what have you experienced, Julia, as far as like people reaching out, emails, phone calls, text messages, all the above?
I've had people try to call me before I even got in the office at 8 a.m. or things like that. I'm like, hey, listen, I'm not there yet. I'll call you when I get there. I've had plenty of clients email me over the weekends thinking that I'm there 24/7. And then by the time I go in the office Monday, they're like, hey, I sent you an email. Why didn't you respond?
Yeah, let's just say this one time, a pro tip for everyone, particularly in September and October, but all times of the year. If you reach out to a wedding client, or excuse me, a wedding vendor on a weekend, and they are able to get back to you, particularly a phone call or certainly a Zoom or in-person meeting, that's a massive red flag, because this week we have
100%.
12 weddings going on this weekend. And let me tell you something. Once we start the process on Friday, the next time we will get back to you will be likely Tuesday morning when we're all back in the office. So if you're having people in September, they're like, oh yeah, let's meet at, Applebee's at 3:00. That's probably a vendor you're not going to want to book, to be honest with you.
Well, I mean, Applebee's alone is the red flag.
Yeah.
If you're telling anybody to meet at Applebee's, I'm not doing
it
business.
should be
Late
like a
night
cute little
apps, though.
coffee shop would
Yeah.
be cute.
The wontons, those are
Those
like
are
that's
good. Those are my
right?
go-to. Love
Snack
those.
Queen
can
strikes
we-
again.
Do you want to retract Applebee's?
I'll take the buffet
Applebee's
over
is awesome.
Applebee's.
Applebee's is good for the half price apps. Just go
Yeah.
there, just eat some half price appetizers.
You can't forget the Brutus like beers.
Oh yeah.
Like-
We have had 0 episodes where Julia hasn't had a spark in her eye when we just start food and snacks, and she perks right up.
Hey, it's wonderful.
So that being said, we're going to bring this back full circle. So
Oh yeah, we are doing a podcast here.
So, Meredith, planners, what is that like for you as far as trying to set proper boundaries, being available to your clients, but at the same time being like, hey, look, like just because you're paying me doesn't mean that you have 24-hour access to my life carte blanche?
I'm so glad that you said it. So for me, when I'm talking to clients in the very beginning stages, one of the things that I let them know is that Monday through Thursday is usually the times that I do my communication. I let them know they can always text me, call me, or email me at any time, but I will get back to them when it's convenient for me. You have to set boundaries, especially if you have families, because unless your family is in this industry, this is an industry that can swallow your free time, and it can monopolize all of your free time. I'll never forget, I went camping with my husband, and I had a client that was just blowing me up the entire camping trip. And this is for me where I learned to set my boundaries, because my husband actually, he kind of stopped it. I'm sitting there and I felt, because I was new in the industry, and I'm like, well, my client needs me. This is going on. And my husband just looked at me and he was like, when is the wedding? And I'm like, it's next September. He's like, what month are we in? And I'm like, it's July. Of what year? And I'm like, he's like, can't that wait?
That's sweet.
And it hit me like a ton of bricks. And I just, so I came back and I'm like, you know what? I hear everything you're saying. If you want to send me an email with all your questions, comments, concerns, I will be back in the office at this time. Let's revisit this conversation. We have time to do this. And that was like very quickly, like my family was the one that told me, hey, you need to set boundaries because you are letting these clients walk all over you as far as not respecting your time, because their wedding is important. Like for us as professionals, newsflash, we are going to do a lot of weddings. You are paper, you matter to us, and we're going to give you 110% the week of your wedding. We will always answer your questions and stuff like that, but until, especially in September and October, I know for me personally, where I'm thinking about your wedding, I'm not devoted to your wedding during busy season.
Well, and also that wouldn't be fair to the couples who it is their wedding week.
Exactly.
If you were devoted to somebody who's getting married on October 24th today, that wouldn't be fair to the client who's getting married this weekend. So, you know, and the thing is, particularly when you're paying for day of coordination, I know there's more to it than that, but like, you know, if you're paying for day of coordination, that doesn't mean that you have a year and a half carte blanche access. So, you know, we mentioned 10, so a couple of these I'm going to skip over, but if you do want to talk more about it. Yeah,
because we're kind of going all over the place. Yeah. And I love this, that it's just a very organic conversation.
So we mentioned underestimating the time commitment. We definitely mentioned not charging enough. We've talked about failing to set boundaries. So a couple that I'm going to skip, but if people have more questions, I'm going to have them reach out to us in the comments.
Please do.
And so we have over-promising and under-delivering. I think that speaks for itself.
Oh, yeah.
That's huge, and a lot of new people coming into this industry, that's one of their biggest downfalls, and that's where we're seeing on Facebook, on these bridal message boards, oh my God, my vendor just canceled on me.
Brutal. There's a lot
and
of
it's
those.
because their vendor was probably somebody that was new, not all the time, but probably somebody that was new, and they overpromised and what they were able to do, and they forgot about their lives, and they may have something going on, because I've been guilty of this, of, family vacation? Sure, I'll book a wedding during that time, because it's, you know, it happens.
So along the same lines, you can't skip wedding contracts. You can't skip vetting vendors properly. You can't neglect the business side. But one that I will elaborate a bit more on here is, I feel like as planners, sometimes they get caught up into like what they like. It's about like what flower colors they like, or what songs that they like to see a bride walk down to, or the type of gown the bride wears. But I mean, can you talk about how important it is to not forget the couple's vision? Because we're all working on behalf of the couple. So I need to play the music that they want to hear. She needs to take the shots they want to hear. He needs to make the announcements they want to hear. And I feel like the planner sometimes loses the fact that this is about the couple's vision coming to life, and not necessarily what their vision of something might be.
Oh, I 100%, I see that a lot. And it's such a fine line, because there are times as a day of coordinator, I have to give, like, you know, hey, do it this way. And it's not based off of personal preference. It's based off of professional preference.
Experience.
Because I know it's going to be what's best for the timeline. But when I'm mentoring new day of coordinators and stuff, one of the things that's kind of similar along this line is I always tell them, and I'm like, don't think with your checkbook, think of the checkbook of the client you want to work with. So and keeping in mind with that, where I may be just a very simple person, listen to your client. If they want opulence, give them opulence. If they want something small, give them something small. This isn't your wedding, it is their wedding. And a lot of times planners will be like, that won't work, that won't work. Why? Have a reason why. If you're going to tell somebody they can't do something that they want to do, if they've brought it to your table of discussion, it obviously means something to them. So listen to them. And if you have to guide them in a different direction, give them a reason why it's not going to work. So if you can't give them an honest reason why, then you're making a personal decision for them, and stop it.
You're not there to relive your wedding.
Exactly. And what you said there actually made me think of. So about 2 years ago now, we had, I'm not sure if you're familiar with the gentleman, Alan Berg. So Alan Berg used to be a C-level executive for the Knot Worldwide, and now he goes around the world, literally speaking on, weddings and live events. And we were fortunate enough to have Alan, come into our office for a day, kind of, do some shadowing, see how we operate, and give us some suggestions. But one of the things that he said that really resonated with me is we all have our own biases here, and you might be like, there's no way in fuck I would spend $4,000 with Sound Precision. And Nick may be like, they're out of their mind if they think I'm going to spend, $2,500 on day of coordination. But you have to remember, you can't spend with your wallet. The customer is spending with their wallet. Mm-hmm. And just like planning their wedding, things that you might think, things that you might stimp out on or might not be important to you, might be important to them, because us as vendors, we can't think of it as spending with our own wallet. We have to think of it as spending with the client's wallet. Yeah. Now, that doesn't mean we take advantage of their budget. It just means that the things that they see value in might be different than what we see value in, but we can't look at it as to how we would spend our money. We've got to look at it as how they would like to spend their money.
I love you so much right now, because that you are speaking truth.
Love it.
And can I spin this and go down a different rabbit hole? Can we eliminate on bridal boards, brides, grooms, when you are looking for vendors, can we just stop using the words cheap and affordable? Mm-hmm. Can we just stop? Because when you say cheap and affordable, you will get exactly what you are asking for. That if you want quality, put a price on that. And it's okay to have a lower budget that you're working with. It's okay to say, I only have $700 to spend on this service. There is no shame in that game. But where you are going to find vendors that will probably fail you is if you use the words cheap and affordable.
I can't tell
Those are not, that is not a budget.
I can't tell you how many times I see that on the Facebook groups everywhere. And brides are like, oh, I'm looking for a cheap, affordable, like whatever, this or that. And then people are getting like people that.
And the other big red flag that I want to talk about, like for brides, like when you're looking for your vendors and you're going to social media and you're using those platforms to find it, if you do not give a date and a location, and if you're using a location, please put the state. Like, please put the state. If you do not have a date and a location and you have 50 vendors saying, I can do it, I can do it, I can do it, how do they know that they're not booked? How do they know that they're in your region? And if you have vendors that are down, like say in Southern Ohio, and you're a Northeast Ohio bride, and they're saying, I can do your wedding, they may be able to, but ask, is there going to be a travel fee? And if they're not charging travel fees, and if their pricing seems too good for what you're seeing in your market, that's a big red flag.
It is.
So and people that say, well, I just want to make my services affordable to the clients, you are doing this industry a disservice.
You are. And a
Straight
good rule
facts.
of thumb for that is, you talk about affordability, you talk about a service that is excellent, and then you talk about a service that can be done fast. The general rule of thumb is you have good, you have fast, and you have cheap. You can pick any two that you want, but you can't have all three. So think about that when you're planning your wedding if you're a bride or groom. If you want something good and you want it done fast, it's not going to be cheap. If you want something, done fast, it's not going to be cheap and it might not be good. You know what I mean? So you got to think about those three things. And if you keep that in mind, those are kind of like the three things, the three pillars of, like, in my opinion, wedding sales and or wedding services. You have good, you have fast, and you have cheap. You can pick any two of the three you want. But once you pick those two or three, you have to understand what the backside of that's going to look like.
Yeah, and one thing, and why, pricing, this is not a dig at vendors who charge less than what others are charging. This is not a dig, because here's a fun fact. I am one of those vendors. I know in the Cleveland market right now, day of coordination, the average is about $1,500 what somebody will pay for a day of coordinator. I don't charge that. My day of coordination, believe it or not, is only $950. So I'm already coming in under market value. But the reason I can come in under market value is I have volume. Because I have a team of planners that work with me, I'm able to do multiple events in a day. So I am able to extend a savings onto clients because I can take 2 weddings in a day. Plus with my mobile bartending business, I can do up to 5 weddings a day. I'm going to make my money one way or another. So I'm able to charge an affordable day of coordination service. So if a vendor comes in at a lower cost, if it's paying your bills and you're able to get what you need out of it, charge what you will. Like, I don't want a single vendor who's listening to this podcast to be like, oh my God, I can't believe she just said that. It is not a personal dig at you. This is any topic that I'm talking about, any comment that I'm saying. It is a very general statement. So if anybody wants to feel like they're being personally attacked, maybe that just means that you need to reevaluate your business practices.
Shots fired.
So if you're at 950 and 1500 is the average, what is that low end and what is that high end that you would say a coordinator would be charging? Like if I'm a couple, what's the number that I should be like, that's way too high?
You want to know what? Because each person is going to provide a different service. I think if it's just day of coordination, you have to look at what all is in that package that a planner is. I know that there's some planners out there that they do their day of coordination and they charge like $3,500. But they're bringing a team of people with them, so it's not just one person. So that's something that needs to be kept in mind, that there's people that need to be paid. Nobody works for free. They may be providing vases, some florals, so that's a really, I can't answer that because that's going to be up to those individual planners because I don't know what services they're providing for that price.
Right. Facts. And like right now with the economy being the way it is, a lot of weddings I see are trying to make a wedding work with everything being so expensive and trying to find ways to spend less.
Julia's an economist now.
And you want to know what? There's no shame in that game. I'm right there too. And if I can save my clients money, I will definitely try to help guide them saving money, because let's be honest, there are some things that you just don't need at a wedding. And it's just you are throwing money into the wind.
I love those couples.
And that way you can match.
We all love those. We all love those couples. But I'm talking about, like it's got to make sense to the overall.
Sure.
If entertainment and video and photos is what's really important to these couples, which I do feel it should be an importance, because your video and your photos, those are your memories. So spend the money and have some beautiful memories that you can display as art on the wall in your homes. Make it something that you can show your kids, your grandkids. So don't skip on photography or video. For when it comes to your entertainment, really your MC and DJ, they are guiding your guest through this experience. You are going to pay for a seasoned DJ that understands what they bring to the table for the guest experience. DJs are the one vendor that will guide every single person, and vendors included, through a journey of this wedding.
What's that
I've been
one?
saying this for 20
What's
episodes.
that one black dude on TikTok that just goes, I'm just like,
Those are all facts.
yeah,
Straight
kebab,
facts.
that guy's hilarious.
It's a fact, and I have a
Dishing
lot of
them out.
friends, because I'm 26, a lot of my friends my age are now getting married. They're now entering that journey of life. And since I do this wedding, they're always like, hey, Nick, should I get a cheaper DJ or should I go for the more expensive option? And I say, as a friend, not as a salesman, you should 100% go for that more expensive option. You should go with me, obviously, but go with the more expensive option, because that person is going to be seasoned. They're going to direct the evening. Do you want to worry about your wedding or do you want to have a good time?
Yeah,
and it's that simple.
Can we talk about another reason why that DJ may be more money, where experience and everything you just said, but it's going to be better quality equipment.
Of course.
Equipment matters, and DJ equipment and photography equipment, it is not cheap.
Oh, no.
Like, I bet your camera takes a much better picture than my iPhone camera. your camera
I just ordered
probably.
the 17 Pro Max, so we're going to put that to the test here in a couple weeks. So.
I
don't
think we
think
need
phones-
to Facebook Live that.
I don't think phones will
Or
ever beat out a
TikTok.
camera.
Well, listen, I think this is a good place to kind of put a button in the first part because I want to make sure we get to some of the stuff on the back end here. So I thought this would be fun because obviously we have rain event planning. So we're going to play a game called Wedding Day Rain or Shine game. And this is meant to be a quick fire, funny, slightly chaotic hot take style game.
Blame it on the rain.
That was always falling.
Yeah, all right. So what we're going to do here is obviously when we say rain, that represents a bad idea or no thanks. Not
Aw.
I'm sorry. Or shine means yes, I love it. We want to keep it fast. We're going to keep it playful, and we're going to lean into some funny banter. But we don't want to take up a ton of time in this because we know we have some
we're
stuff
gonna
on the
be quick.
back end. Okay, number one. This is easy. A cash bar at a wedding, is that rain or shine?
Poor.
Rain.
It is.
That's a poor
bad.
Thunderstorm. Just
yeah.
tornado.
No, like poor money wise.
Yeah. All right. I like this one. Cutting the cake with a sword.
Shine.
G.
I think that's cool.
Shine. That's
Shine.
gangster.
It
No,
shines.
I will say that I think it's a little cooler if you're like a military guy. If you're just some like weird guy that wants
Military
like
guy.
samurai swords,
Yeah,
like
you haven't seen the military
you know what I mean? Like when they have like the
guys cutting
Marines
them
have
with
like
the
that. Like
yeah, they've been doing that.
I would do my
It's-
I have like this like sword from like
It's-
1800s.
That would
It's
be-
gotta make sense
Rain.
to the couple.
Yeah, it has
It's
to
gotta make sense to the couple.
Yeah.
Like if it was just some random thing, like I saw this on TikTok and I want to do it. Sorry, that's not gonna work. But if it
Cutting it with a
means something, it's a
lightsaber.
great way to brand. Yes,
would be-
but it's a great way that couples can brand their wedding based off of their personalities.
That's
we
true.
have some fucking dorks in this city. If I see more lightsabers at a wedding, I've had enough. Okay,
The May the
I
4th
want to
wedding.
just. I'm gonna get on my high horse here for a second. No more lightsabers at weddings.
No more
Don't
lightsabers
listen
at
to
weddings.
this
I've
man.
had enough
Do not
lightsabers
listen to him.
at weddings. Okay, you're a fucking dork. Okay,
Don't.
If it
nobody
ma-
at your
Dude, the
wedding
Force
wants to
is not
see
with
you
him.
battle with your fucking plastic lightsaber. Okay.
If it
Unless you're a
matches your
kid.
theme, go for it.
Yes.
Well, we had
You
a wedding.
were-
No, it's a
No,
terrible idea.
You
You're
were
gonna-
okay,
you're missing out on
Scott.
customers right
Respectfully,
now.
as your friend, you are sitting between two women. One, and we're on the same page
I
here.
think theme
This
weddings
doesn't
are
end
fun.
well for you.
I think they're fun because they're different. So like there was a wedding on May 4th, and they did "May the 4th be with you." They had a Star
getting
Wars themed
slammed
wedding,
right
and it was
now.
honestly
Let me-
cool. It
I'm
was
going-
fun.
listen,
I loved it.
I cannot tell you enough how lame I think that is. I've had to make photo booth backdrops with "May the 4th be with you," and the
It's
entire
cool.
time I was
It's
just like,
awesome.
It's
I
better
was
than
disgusted.
If it speaks to you as a couple, ignore him.
Go for
Do
it.
it.
Go big or go home.
Yes, it's just a wedding.
Go big or go home and leave your lightsaber at home.
No.
Yeah.
Okay, next question.
Okay. We're gonna keep things moving. Wearing Crocs to a wedding reception.
No.
That is rain. Yeah, you are. God, no, you would wear some Crocs.
It depends. If you're
He
breaking
wears
it down,
shoes that say not Chucks on them, so yeah, he would think Crocs are
Those-
cool.
I
I
mean,
don't
they're Chuck
care if
Taylors,
you put them in
but-
sports mode. No.
it depends. If you're like at the end of the night, hour left, or even before the dance set, and you want to get out of your heels as a girl, go for it.
No. There's
Go
cute
for
tennis
it.
shoes you can do.
Yeah.
There's cute flip flops and sandals. Do that. Crocs are ugly.
Whoa, Nick.
I don't
I
like
actually don't
Crocs.
even own a pair of Crocs.
They give me blisters.
I've never had a Croc, man. That's
I
not
had
my
one when
style.
I
was,
say
like,
it has
young
to
and
make
gave me
sense to
blisters.
you, but if
Yeah.
we're talking about overall,
Okay.
I think.
I agree with
Okay,
that.
here's my hot take. If you could have a lightsaber at your wedding, you could have a pair of Crocs.
No.
I feel
Big
like the guy
difference.
wearing the
Same level.
Crocs.
Difference.
I feel like the guy wearing the Crocs would be the same guy with a fucking lightsaber.
It's
no.
the same level.
No.
Yes.
No, it's not the same
Yes.
level.
No.
'Cause
Moving
Crocs
on,
are
folks,
all
moving on.
reception-
Scott's like choo choo.
Food trucks instead of a plated dinner.
Ooh.
Now wait, we're not talking late night snack. We're talking in lieu
There's
of
one
plated
coming up
dinner.
that's a food truck for dinner and not plated.
I don't like that
excited.
idea because
You are the snack queen, so I guess
No,
for
okay.
me,
a
Okay.
food truck
See-
is very hard to satisfy a lot of people
No.
that quickly.
They're doing
unless you
Barrio.
have 2 or 3 trucks. If you have just one truck trying to satisfy 150 people at one time, it will not work. It
I
does
can
not
agree
matter.
with that because I think it depends on how big your wedding party, like, and guests, overall are gonna be on how many food trucks you're gonna have. If it's one and you have like 200 guests,
I would
So,
say a rule of
I
thumb,
don't
you gotta
know.
have at least one truck for every 40 to 50 people.
Agreed.
So I'm gonna blow your minds. So I did a wedding last year, 300 people. They had a food truck. We had dinner service in, out, and done in an hour.
Oh, hell yeah.
But it's because the food truck understood how to work weddings. They had a simplified menu. The couples were given on their invitations, they had their choice of chicken or beef, and they said, this is who's providing our food. So they already had a count going in, so they were able to prepare for it.
like that.
I'm pro food truck because it is an interactive element when it's done correctly. I've also done weddings where it has taken an hour and 45 minutes to do 80 people. It's a fine line, and you have to know how to work with food trucks.
Yeah.
And there's some trucks in the Cleveland market that are phenomenal to work with because they have a game plan for weddings. There's others that they're just, no, we can do weddings, but just because you can do something doesn't mean you do it well.
Yeah, I do like food trucks. They're fun. I think they're entertaining. I
You
think
would
it
like food
gives a
trucks.
little personalization where people can choose what they
If
like.
you were
on
in the
their
Spice
topping.
Girls, you'd be Snacky Spice.
Well,
That would be. That
there's
would
no
be.
problem with that. It's like I know my food. I know what I like. I
Yeah.
know what I want. Like, I mean, get yourself a girl who eats, not one that doesn't.
Whoa!
Oh!
Whoa! Shots.
No shots fired. Shots respected.
Get yourself a girl who eats.
Guys like a girl who eats, who knows her food. Like,
Chris,
get him a medium rare steak. There you go.
I
No,
like that. To get yourself a girl who eats. That's
Yeah.
funny.
I'm pro food truck just because I've worked with some really amazing ones out there. But it's got to make sense to the couple and to the wedding. Next question.
All right, let's wrap this. We'll wrap up this fun on this. We'll do one
We're
more.
having too much fun here.
It is fun.
This is some
Let's
real
see, which
talk
one do I
going
wanna-
on today.
Okay, this one I think is an easy one. Having a pet as the ring bearer.
Absolutely.
I think that's cute.
No.
That's a yes. That's a
I like
yes.
it. That's shine for me too.
It depends on what kind of pet.
What do you mean?
And is somebody going to lead that pet, or are you just going to like, come here, boy, come here?
No, they lead the pet. They usually have someone that walks it down. Usually.
What if it was a potbelly pig?
Even better. I want that.
What if it was a cross-eyed Shih
Okay,
Tzu?
last weekend I had llamas at my wedding on Friday, and I had horses on my wedding at Saturday, and I have dogs this weekend coming up.
Yeah, I have
so
dogs this-
I'm here for all the fur
have dogs
babies.
Okay,
tomorrow.
Include
if you
them.
have an exotic pet that does it, we'll give you the shine. But if you're going to be basic and you're going to have just a dog walking down, there's other ways you could incorporate it into your
Whoa,
wedding.
those are
no,
like
no, no,
fur
no,
baby.
no.
Yeah.
No.
No.
That's, everybody does
Do
that.
you have
It's
a pet?
cute.
Boo.
No.
Yeah,
Exactly.
why.
That's why.
Thank
That's
you.
why.
Everybody does that, though.
Okay.
So it's like,
No, it's fun. It's cute. They're part of the family. They should be at the wedding.
They could
you
be
know?
at the wedding.
They're your fur baby.
they can be at the wedding, but
maybe
everybody
not a-
does the dog as the ring bearer.
I wouldn't do
Everybody
a cat.
does that shit.
'cause a
There's
cat
nothing
can't
original
really
about
listen.
it.
Cat-
They don't. They do. They
Nothing
do their
Cats
own
original
don't
about
care.
it.
Cats
They do
like
their own
it's
thing.
yeah,
Put it
they're
on your
not
turtle.
gonna
So-
have your pet parrot fly it in. But if you're gonna put it on your dog's back, there's nothing original about
Nick's
it.
brother Habibi.
You
His name
can't
is
have a
Ibrahim.
parrot fly to you with the
Why
ring.
can't
It's
you?
gonna go wherever it wants.
You don't know that.
I could see.
Train your
I
parrot
could see
better.
Habibi right now
What?
with Brooke having their bearded dragon.
Yeah.
Be the
That
ring
would had a
bearer.
bearded
Have-
dragon.
yeah, have Rex
but
do it.
no,
That'd
they
be
don't really
awesome.
train. They don't really go.
No, but I
listen
mean,
too much.
well, and if you want to include your pet in your wedding and it where the ceremony may not be the best place for it, use them as a branding option for your event. Name a signature drink after them.
Yeah, there's,
see
there's
that a
other
lot,
ways
yeah.
to get
Put
your
their
pets
picture,
involved.
put their
I
picture
think that's
on the
cute.
bar sign. You could have a little napkin with their picture.
cute.
Pet
I've
shaped
seen that.
cookies. I mean,
You know?
there's so
well,
much stuff
I've
you
had
could
couples that it's for their favors because they were animal lovers. They would have like cat and dog treats were their
I've
favors.
seen that before at
So
some,
fun.
and it's really cute.
I would actually
My
know you wanna
cat
be
was
pissed.
very great. My cat, just for the record, if we're working together, my cat's very grateful for people that think of like the fur babies.
Wow.
I may take a favor or two.
I'm not. I'm be honest with you.
I have a little kitty. He's
Not a
crazy
cat
though.
guy.
Aw.
Cats are
He's
for
an
women
orange
and
cat.
children.
What?
Cats
No.
are for women and children.
No, I feel like they're good
You
for, like-
misogynist
no,
asshole.
Call
I
me a
think-
misogynist. That's the
You
way
want to
it
know?
goes.
He's the type of guy. If he had a pet, I bet he'd have a ferret.
No,
He would.
I
He
like
would totally
ferrets.
have
I
a
would
ferret.
have-
Ferrets are dope.
I
You
would have
throw
a
'em.
tank of piranhas, or I would have the world's smallest dog.
Are you trying to accommodate something like with the
Oh.
smallest dog?
What does that even mean?
because
we
usually
all
you
figured
get
out.
Typically, you overcompensate by having a large truck, a large dog.
okay, overcompensate.
You do have a large truck.
I
Shepherd,
am
they're pretty
big and bold enough, so I just need a small little furry companion. I don't need anything grand. Okay? I don't need this big giant dog. I am
Take
enough.
that how you will, audience.
I am enough.
Okay.
Ladies at home, no.
Comment what you think. Comment what you think below. Do you agree or
Nick
disagree?
has a small furry companion. Now,
Hey, I
moving
got
right
word on the
along.
street.
Every episode, we always want to do a quick shout out to the guys, the grooms, the fellas. So, Nick, I believe it is now time for.
Do a little
Oh,
no tucks given. The greatest segment of all time.
Eh.
Well, we dedicate directly to the groom because typically and traditionally we're always talking to the bride, but we got to get the guys more involved. And if the guy's involved, the wife's going to be happy. Happy wife, happy life. And we're going to be happy as the vendors. So today I want to talk about and focus on surprise entertainment that the groom can incorporate into his wedding to make it a more fun and pleasurable experience for not only himself, but just for everybody in general. So some things we've seen in the past, and we want to give some suggestions to people, is number one, have a live band cameo. Maybe you have a buddy who has a band. Maybe you know some semi-famous musicians or even famous musicians. Have a live band cameo where it's unannounced, unexpected, and they just come up and they do a little surprise set.
Recently, we've seen a lot of strolling musicians. So, if you get a chance to do like a fusion where you get like a dope saxophone player and a DJ
Yes,
set.
those are super
I've
cool.
seen
That's cool.
strolling acoustic guitar players. We've seen people do trios and quartets of stringed instruments.
Those are super cool.
There are some really cool things that you can do that would
Yep.
just be. And again, if you could surprise your bride, like
Oh, yeah,
that's
that'd
super
be
dope.
fun.
You know what I mean? So
And weddings nowadays are all about experiences that people want to provide to their guests.
Yeah.
What else can you do besides the DJ floor, a nice cake, and a nice dinner? Some other things. A fireworks show. And I actually happen to know a good firework guy. Do a fireworks show at the end of your show to do a little celebration or send-off. That'd be super cool. You could have a gaming station at your place. Let's say that the groom's a super big gamer. Have a Nintendo Switch, have an Xbox, have a whatever the hell you like, and have your favorite games there so that, you know, if you want to go and game it up real quick, Mario Kart. I think that'd be awesome at a wedding. Cigar
Honestly, I think
bar,
that'd
whiskey
be dope
bar.
for the
yeah.
guys.
One thing that I'm seeing a trend in, and I actually love this, is live event painting. But like, it's couples will come, they'll get their picture taken, and there's somebody almost like fashion artist sketching,
Yeah,
and,
doing it live.
and then they get like a watercolor that they can take as a favor at the end of the night. Like that is really cool.
Yep.
Cigars are always a good one.
Oh, yeah.
Bourbon bars,
Bourbon bars.
are
Oh,
always
absolutely.
Yeah,
really
that's nice.
are always really good.
Absolutely.
Now you have to check with your venue that you're
Yeah.
working with, like what like the protocol is for that, because where you can't be doing shots, because a lot more venues are going to no shot policies just
Yeah, I've
because
noticed that.
adults don't know how to act like adults sometimes when alcohol is involved.
Facts.
So always check with your venue on that. But I really like when you can mix like bourbon and cigars and kind of just having a little something. I've also seen golf simulators.
Yep.
I've seen that a lot
Sims.
more too as well.
Sports mascot crashes. I recently did a wedding
we've
where
had the hot dogs come
hot
rolling
dog
up.
and
That
ketchup's out
That's
there
cool.
DJing with me. It's if you can find that video
okay, so
online.
ketchup, mustard, or mayo?
Ketchup. That's my
Ketchup?
dog.
Mustard.
Mustard.
Ketchup is my homie. I
like
taught him how to
ketchup.
DJ.
I don't know. I
like ketchup.
think we need to put it to the
I
audience.
think
and
that's
see if,
cool
like,
though. You know, like have them surprise right before dinner or even during dinner and don't announce it to anybody. Just have them walk in and next thing you know, the entire crowd of people is like, oh my God, there's ketchup. And they're losing it.
you
know what I mean?
Every time. How do you all feel about groom's cakes?
I think it's cool.
I think that's nice. I've seen it a very few times. Normally it's when the groom's like in the military or anything like that. But I think it's really nice to do that as a concept. It's cool.
And to end this segment off, we're going to do a car reveal. Imagine you are the groom and you're a big car guy. You're finishing your night off.
That's cool.
You've got this 64 Mustang that you love. Maybe you're into sports and luxury cars. You got this new Lamborghini or something that you have. Hop in that fucking thing and cruise off into the sunset.
Ooh.
Or
Just
in this
married
case, end of the
sign.
night.
He just
You know,
won
the
like
moonlight.
100
Hanging
cool
at the back.
points for that. Like, okay,
I think that's baller.
that respect.
And if you
That's
can't
gangster.
buy
I
one,
like that.
rent one.
It's gangster.
You can rent old cars too, like rent vintage
Buy
like
one.
cars for wedding
I say
days.
whatever the
If
groom
you're
is
a car
into,
guy-
like feed into his fetish, like that's
Go for it.
awesome.
If you're a car guy, you're not gonna rent one. You're gonna own one
It
already.
also depends on how much money you have too. Some people can be car guys, but they're not
If you
there.
can save for a wedding,
money-wise.
you can save for a car.
Car guys,
saying.
car guys are already there. They'll buy it cheap and fix it up themselves because they're car guys.
That's true.
So, do that.
Well, that was another great rendition of the No Tucks Given.
Always.
Fellas, for you, stay involved, stay engaged with your ladies, keep her happy, happy wife, happy life, all that, happy spouse, happy house, all
Happy
that good
DJ
stuff.
vendor.
Happy DJ vendor. All right, now, this may be, in my opinion, we're going to end on this last notion of ways that social media is hurting wedding planning, okay? And if you've been with us this far and you're still watching, if you are a planner,
Thank
if you
you.
are a young planner, if you are someone who's considering planning, I think this next 15 minutes here may be the most important 15 minutes that you can listen to. So rather than getting caught in the weeds, what I'm going to do is I'm going to read down the list first.
Okay.
And then we'll kind of go through some of the hot button ones. So ways that social media is hurting wedding planning. Number one is unrealistic expectations. I
Big
think that's a
one.
huge one. Number two, we've discussed ad nauseum, budget misalignment that goes hand in hand with unrealistic expectations. Sometimes it's easy to have a trend overload. Just doing too much of a good thing does not always make it great. Comparison culture, comparing what you're doing to what your friends or family are doing.
I think that goes hand in hand with social media.
Yeah.
And that is why social media is so big.
Yeah.
Do-it-yourself disasters,
Yeah.
devaluing professionals,
Yeah.
the old tried and true misinformation, putting too much pressure on planners and or vendors, the fear of missing out, and scope creep. I think that's a good one. Like, oh my God, if I don't do this, am I going to be upset that I didn't do it? So fear of missing out.
How do we just pick a few of these to talk about? These are all extremely
Like they're
important.
yeah.
They are, but we have 15
yeah.
minutes.
Then let's go
got
60 seconds on each one. Start at the
Yeah,
top right
boom.
now. Boom.
Shifting focus
boom, boom.
away
Hold on, we got more.
from marriage. I think that one is
That is huge because at the end of the day, it's just a wedding. It's just a wedding. It's a wedding. What is a wedding?
All right, let's go.
It's a marriage.
It's a
From the top,
marriage.
60 seconds, live, new event right now, never before done. Go. 60 seconds on the first one.
All right,
Social media.
unrealistic expectations. I'll take. We've all been on Pinterest. We're all seeing TikTok viral weddings. We're seeing all of those things on Instagram, and sometimes
It's fucking the game up for everybody.
it is.
Yeah.
It is.
Every
It's-
Oh my
vendor.
fucking-
Yes.
Every
I'm
single
sick
one.
of it.
It's what is important to you, what is important to your family and friends, and what are the things that best suit your budget and the experiences that you want to share with your people.
27 seconds. Go.
Okay, I'm going to talk about DIY disasters. There is nothing wrong with being a DIY bride. Oh, I'm sorry. Were we supposed to go down?
No, I like it. Let's
Okay.
keep it rolling.
Yeah.
Keep it going.
So, there's nothing wrong with being a DIY bride, but on TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, those people that are making those videos and they make it look so easy,
they know
what
what
they
they're
don't
doing.
show you is how many missteps there were and how many times they had to redo something. Couples often forget a little fun thing called editing videos. Just because you saw it online doesn't make it real.
And a lot of people think they're DIY people, but it's a lot harder than these videos make it seem. You can't just slap some glue on some floral walls and think you're a carpenter.
Yeah, and the biggest thing that I run into, especially with my clients, because I work with a lot of DIY brides. I love you guys. You are my people, but they don't understand how long it takes to make things. And when you're talking about a wedding, you are never just doing a one-off of something.
Yep.
Oh no, you're doing 32 of them because that's
yeah.
how many
Yep.
tables you have. If you have 150 guests, you're making 150 favors. So just be realistic on how long it's going to take you to do something.
And that is our 60 seconds on
Julia,
that topic.
go.
Comparison culture. I get that a lot as a photographer and working in the video. You will go over on Pinterest or on TikTok and you see these cute videos, these photos, edit a certain way or anything like that. And then you go to me and you're like, hey, I want this exact same thing. It's not going to work. You're not those two people. You're not those couples. It's not going to be a perfect day or you're not going to be at that same location. It's not going to look exactly like that. So do not compare a photo or Pinterest or a TikTok video to a vendor or things like that. And don't compare vendors to other vendors. Everyone has their own style. Everyone works differently. If you want a photographer that does this specific style who shoots this way, or a videographer that also does the same, shoots that way, and you go to another one and you want them to shoot like another person or edit like another person or do anything like that, don't go to that person. Just go to the right one.
Time. Thank you, Julia, for playing the 60-second roll round. Now we're going to talk about devaluing professionals. And I think it's super important because Taylor Swift is getting married. And that is going to be.
I'm available. Just saying.
We gave our 1-2 to her, but she's gonna get married and she's gonna set the trends. So all these celebrities and all these weddings and staged wedding shoots are setting a precedence for what people think weddings should be, and it's devaluing not only the client but the professional because now I gotta be like Taylor. I gotta be like Taylor, but you're not Taylor. If you're going to try to meet that, it's going to devalue what you think your wedding is going to be like. And then you're going to have a different ideology about your vendor. Like, oh, my DJ wasn't like her DJ. My florist wasn't like her florist. My dress wasn't like her dress. And I think that's going to skew the whole game. So we need to know and make sense to not put that much high emphasis on these celebrities because they have infinite money and we don't.
Yep.
Next topic.
Yeah. I was just going to say couples just need be true to yourself.
Yes.
Like, dig your vibe.
Yeah.
Well, I guess what we'll do is we'll end on this one because it makes sense. Shifting the focus away from the marriage. And again, guys, listen, I'm a DJ. I'm all about the party. I want the glitz, the glam, the music, the fog, the lights, the sparks. But at the end of the day, everybody is there in celebration of the marriage. So I think sometimes you have to kind of just go back to the basics and remember that this entire event, all this money being spent, all of these experiences are in celebration of two people coming together to form one. And I think that that's a good place to, maybe end the segment because it's important, Well, listen, here's what I got to tell you guys. This was probably the fastest we blew through an hour since we've been doing this, so that just goes to show you how much information we tried to get out there.
And we could have sat for 2-3 hours.
We could have done an hour easily.
Yeah.
So I want to number one, I want to say thank you. I also feel like it's safe to say we'll give it some time, but I feel like this conversation is to be continued. We're gonna have to have part 2 at some point.
Oh, there's most definitely,
definitely,
because what we just went through, because we talked about 10 different things, but when we went through, we only talked about 4. So there are still 6 topics that if your viewers want feedback on, they can leave you a message in the TikTok or whatever, and you can come and revisit this. This is a evolving conversation that not just for brides and grooms to think about, but for new professionals coming into this industry. We want to have these conversations. There is a network of people that will welcome you with arms wide open if you're willing to listen to the advice of experience. It's okay to be new, and it's okay to have questions, and it's okay to not know everything. It's okay. We were all there. We were one of you. Let us help you, but you have to be willing to hear you're not perfect, sunshine.
Preach.
Wow.
Preach.
And so I gotta say, I feel like more than ever, this is one of those episodes where we really would love people jump in the comments, hit us up on all the socials, because I feel like the conversation in some ways might just be getting started.
And I want to reiterate to everybody at home, we are going to be living these on TikTok every episode from here on out, at the very minimum, the behind the scenes. So if you want to come in and you want to say something to our guest of the day, you could drop a comment live and we will answer it live. So check us out on TikTok and you could join the conversation in real time.
As always, thank you to the viewers. We are
Thank you.
I believe this is episode, is it 18 we're shooting right now? I think this is episode 18. That's 18 weeks of our blood, sweat, and tears. Nick lost a pinky in the process here. Look at that thing.
It's a stub.
He's a pocket guy now. Look at him.
I am not a pocket guy. I'm loud and proud about my pinky.
Blood, sweat, and
G
tears.
shit.
We've had an absolute ball doing it, and we're looking forward to kind of continuing it. Nick mentioned earlier, if you are someone that knows somebody who has a product or a service that would be a great fit on our podcast, we are currently open and accepting sponsorships for the podcast. That would be fantastic.
It could be anything from drinks to lube. You can give me a bottle of lube and it'll sit right up there on that shelf.
You are weird, dude.
I mean, it works for the wedding industry if you're going to be
If
honest.
there's any
You are
pure
weird.
romance
Slippery
people that want
every
to help
episode
sponsor
for
this
you.
show, he's speaking to you, pure
you
romance.
are worried about people having dogs, and you're talking about lube with these people.
I will get slippery and sudsed up every episode for our viewers.
Wow,
No.
that's gross. And you said you had a furry little critter in your pants, or whatever you said before. You said something like that. You did, didn't you?
I said I want a little chihuahua that's
did.
No,
cross-eyed.
he said I have
did.
a small furry little
He-
critter in my pants.
But hey,
Oh,
this
that's
is
how you
on
guys
video.
took that?
That's
Yeah,
what you said.
That's
No.
exactly what you said. This
I
is
said
on
I
video.
want a
You can go back and
chihuahua
watch
that's
that.
cross-eyed.
Listen,
But
enough is enough. Ladies and
Bringing
gentlemen,
it
it's just
back
a
to
wedding.
just a wedding.
Out.
It's Just a Wedding podcast.